a historic sight.
It's tradition. It's a pride. We pride ourselves on excellence, and that's what it's going to always be.
Where legends are born.
And that's something that we're not afraid to throw out names of guys that have done it the right way. It really means a lot to us. It means a lot to this community, but it's a lot of pride that's in that school and the history of being able to say that I put on the same jersey as those guys. You can be in the same position as well, but you have to take care of things academically. Your behavior has to take care of itself, and then overall your character.
Now, a new breed of Bulldog looks to write the next chapter of Silver Bluff football history.
It's about Silver Bluff football and being able to maintain and to continue that winning tradition.
Fox Creek, Silver Bluff.
Welcome to Game Night Live. WJBF Sports presents local high school football live in your living room each Friday night. Game Night Live is powered by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And now your hosts, John Hart and Ashley Brown.
Well, if you're following along at home on your Game Night Live handy-dandy home schedule, you are probably expecting us to be in Edgefield County tonight, but due to the continued reshuffling of the schedule in the state of South Carolina this year, we called an audible, and it's a good one. We are here in Petticoat Junction tonight. John Hart joined, as always, by Ashley Brown and AB. We have the 1-0 Fox Creek Predators, the 2-0 Silver Bluff Bulldogs. Neither of these teams have played a game in 3 weeks due to all of that reshuffling and COVID issues and things of that like. But you have two things tonight. You have the number 5 ranked team in the state, Silver Bluff, in Class 2A.
And they might be undervaluing them.
It might be undervaluing. And you have two of the top Division I prospects in our area in Nick Williams and Trayvon Dunbar. For those who didn't have a chance to read your column, you see a lot of points being scored tonight.
Well, I do. You've got some dynamic playmakers on both sides of the ball. With Silver Bluff, you mentioned Trayvon Dunbar. As a freshman last year in 6 games, he rushed for over 800 yards and 16 touchdowns. And, oh, by the way, he kind of overshadowed a pretty darn good quarterback in Malik Williams, who's one of the top 25 prospects among juniors in South Carolina. So I think Silver Bluff's going to score some points. And Fox Creek showed in their first game they can score too. Their quarterback rushed for 250 in their first game, Mike Adams. And let's take a look at the keys to the game tonight. We'll start with Fox Creek. They got to make somebody other than Dunbar hurt them. On most teams, that would be okay. On this one, the problem is now you got to deal with Malik Williams, but you can't let Dunbar run up and down the field, and that's what he did all of last year. And then control the clock. You know, with your ground game, keep those playmakers off the field. And then for Silver Bluff, you've got to, for Silver Bluff, be balanced. They were balanced last week. Continue that. Let Malik Williams mix it up. He's been compared to, some college quarterbacks with some skill, and I think they need to let him do that like he did their first game. And then use speed to overcome the size disadvantage maybe up front. Fox Creek should have a slight size advantage, but Silver Bluff's going to have that speed.
There's some big bodies on the field tonight. A few of them are at the middle of the field for the coin toss.
Number 75, Nick Williams. All right, guys, I'm Sam Miller. I'll be the referee tonight. My line judge is Mr. Sanford. My back judge is Mr. Douglas. My linesman is Mr. Thompson. And Mr. New is our umpire. He's going to come up for the coin toss. You guys are visitors, so you get to call the toss. I've got a tails there. That's the tails and the heads. What would you like? Heads. He wants the heads. If I drop it, we'll do it again. The tails. So you have won the toss. You want to defer. Is that correct? You want to defer? You guys get the ball. Which way do you want to kick?
We want to finish scoreboard.
All right, put your backs to the scoreboard. You guys turn around and face them. Line up, back up just a little bit. That's good, guys. All right, we're going to receive on this end. Shake hands again, guys. Let's have a good game.
Indeed, Silver Bluff wins the toss, elects to defer. Fox Creek will get the ball first. Game Night Live kickoff is next. Well, it doesn't get much better than this on a September Friday night. 77 degrees, hardly any clouds in the sky. And the 7th meeting between Silver Bluff and Fox Creek. The Bulldogs lead the all-time series 5-1, but Fox Creek won the last matchup 23-21 back in 2019. Mentioned both of these teams neither of these teams have played in 3 weeks. Fox Creek back on August 20th beat Ben Lippen 40-14. Silver Bluff also a big win over South Aiken that night, 44-0.
Yeah.
An impressive showing by the Bulldogs. They haven't played since either. Williston Elko had to forfeit a game against them. Then the Aiken game, which was scheduled for last week, is in the process of being rescheduled. So both these teams itching to hit somebody else, AB.
Oh, no question. And Fox Creek in the Lim Lackey era now.
A good return by Emery Jones up to the 36.
Mentioned Lim Lackey, the former Evans and Laney head coach, coming over here to Fox Creek in his first season.
It looks like number 23, Quincy Wells, is on the run.
Yeah, you mentioned Coach Lackey, 1-0 in his first season here at Fox Creek. He's the third head coach in 4 years for the Predators. 40-26 in 6 seasons at Evans, 3 region titles. Before that, of course, 56-33 in 8 seasons at Laney with a region title.
One thing I didn't realize until going through the numbers today, he made the playoffs 12 of his 14 seasons as a head coach, and he only has had 2 losing seasons. Pretty impressive.
That's Cash Johnson for a few.
And that's Adams, the quarterback, number 11, coming off a monster game in week 0. 252 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Only attempted 3 passes. He completed a couple of those for 23 yards.
Yeah, did most of the damage with his legs. Touchdown runs of 59 and 80 yards.
A little confusion in the backfield this time.
He's going to have to use his legs here, but absolutely not, says Jaden McLeod.
Well, that's one thing Silver West got. They are speedy all over the field, and when you have a play like that that's busted, you better do something quick. And unfortunately, Adams did not, and the defense made him pay for it.
Well, McLeod, the strongest player on this Silver Bluff team. He squats 500, AB. That's a little bit more than you do.
He benches over 300. He power cleans, or deadlifts over 400.
Sure.
Squats over 500. Yeah, he's pretty big dude. Pretty strong dude.
Third and a bunch. Oh, 3rd and 17 for the Predators. And Adams to throw. They'll get some of it back, but not quite enough.
They set up a nice little play there, though, to give Adams a little confidence and get a little bit of the yardage back, as you mentioned.
Chandler O'Brien on the receiving end for the Preds. And it looks like 4th and 6 from their own 41, Coach Lim Lackey. This is an early Ken Nugent one call, that's all moment. Going for it, at least appearing to.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to.
I'd be really surprised if they snapped that football. And they don't, and the Predators will burn the early timeout. That was worth a shot, right?
Now, absolutely. And why not try to draw them off, make it 4th and 1, and then you really have a decision to make. Lim Lackey yelling at the, well, let's say talking with a spirited tone to the offensive line.
We mentioned Silver Bluff ranked number 5 in Class 2A in South Carolina. Fox Creek has faced a top 5 team 3 times in its history. They are 1-2. And the Fox Creek fans will remember the upset win over top-ranked Williston Elko back in 2010. Our friend Russell Schneider coaching up the Predators back then.
That was was that the Marty Williams era?
I believe it was.
Yeah, Marty Williams, one of the great, probably the best player in school history. And you look at Silver Bluff, their defense, it looks like everybody on the defense is the same size, but they are fast. Arthur
Walker on the return for the Bulldogs. Still on his feet. into Fox Creek territory. Sideline, Walker all the way for 6.
What a return. Wow. And Fox Creek just poor tackling. Several players got a hand on the return man there, and they just couldn't bring him down. Arthur Walker. Wow. You know when a return man's good. You can sense the crowd's excitement when he catches one. The crowd kind of a little mini eruption when he just caught the ball. So they know he's dangerous, and Fox Creek just found out how dangerous.
76 yards for Arthur Walker.
Wow. It's one way to start things off.
You know, we have had some late game drama the last 2 weeks, some early game drama here in week 3 on Game Night Live. The Bulldogs are going to go for 2.
Malik Williams, the quarterback, junior, and then the outstanding sophomore tailback behind him. That's Dunbar, and Dunbar is going to push his way in for the extra point, looks like.
And he does. Signal given. 8-0 Silver Bluff strikes first in Petticoat Junction. Well, how's that for starters? 76-yard touchdown return on a punt by Arthur Walker, and the Bulldogs with an early 8-0 lead at the Trayvon Dunbar 2-point conversion. And Taryn Mays on the return now for Fox Creek. And he had a big week last week as well.
Christian Washington on the tackle for Silver Bluff.
Brings them out to about the 32-yard line, where the Predators will take
Last
over.
week, Mays, 143 yards with the total offense. 8 on defense. He had 8 tackles and 2 picks. One of those a pick 6. And he sets the Predators up. 1st and 10 at their own 31.
Well, Fox Creek needs to get some first downs. You don't want to fall behind early on the road against a very good Silver Bluff team.
Adams, not much.
A little bit of a tentative run there by Adams. He's got some beef up front to run behind. As I said, Silver Bluff's given up some size, but man, they're fast on defense.
One of your keys to the game. Counteract the size with speed. I'd say so far so good for Silver Bluff.
For sure. We'll talk about some of that beef up front, mainly Nick Williams during the broadcast tonight, I'm sure a few times. Williams highly sought after with well over a dozen big-time scholarship offers from SEC, ACC programs.
There's some Division I talent on this field. And another small game for the Preds.
Again, they need first downs. That was Quincy Wells on the carry. He had 130 yards and a couple of touchdowns in their first game. Again, they ran through the Ben Lippen defense in week 0. Still, I can't force myself to say the week 0 thing is so weird to me.
It was literally week 0 for us. We only got a quarter in. Predators need to get to the 43. And they're going to get some help.
Encroachment.
Sam Miller, our referee tonight. So 3rd and 7 becomes 3rd and 2 for the Preds.
Offsides called against the Bulldogs.
There you see the Silver Bluff coaching staff.
We have 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 3rd down.
Adams, keeper, 1st down, up to the 44.
That's a baby step in the right direction.
That is a fairway forward 1st down for the Predators. And our first down of the evening.
One thing, too, the head coach D'Angelo Bryant talked about the fact that after the first game against South Aiken being met down on the field by Coach Al Lown, his former coach, and just the fact that Coach Lown was approved really made him feel good.
He told me during our visit yesterday, as the Preds close to another 1st down, a couple of yards short. He told me during our visit yesterday, still in regular contact with his former coach. They play golf. Lown, a great golfer, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the numbers last night. Alabama, 214 wins here. Look, I went to the University of Georgia, so I'm not a math major, but you're averaging 10 wins a year for 20 years. That's amazing.
Not too shabby.
And of course.
Well, I wonder how they're
state
keeping
titles.
in contact. Did Lowndes finally get a cell phone? I don't believe it. I don't believe that.
No, he picks up the landline, As a first down for Fox Creek.
Coach Lowndes was one of the best, though. He
absolutely.
was old school, new school, because he was old school in the way he behaved, the way he coached, but he was new school. He was such a nice guy. He'd do anything in the world for you. And, man, he had some success here, some great teams, some great players. We mentioned D'Angelo Bryant, the coach, also Troy Williamson. I mean, they've had some good ones over the years here for sure.
No, he's a beauty, and if you're going to bend an ear of a coach, if you're Coach Bryant, that's the one. And the fact that he's kept him so close to the program, a very wise move. Not a wise move is running against Jaden McLeod.
Well, use that strength to power his way through the line there. Number 42, McLeod with the big play.
Number 42.
Fox Creek, though, this drive, they've done a good job mixing in a few passes.
Brings up a loss of 3.
Trying to keep Silver Bluff on their heels a little bit.
Brings up 2nd and 13.
So it'll be 2nd and 13.
One thing Fox Creek has is a great baseball program, and Adams a very talented baseball player.
And the Predators, the 2017 state baseball champions. Back when they were Class 2A.
Yeah, coached by
third down.
Coached by Kevin Lynn, who, when I first moved back home after college, I helped coach over at North Augusta, and Kevin Lynn was a sophomore shooting guard. He was also a rising star as a pitcher.
Third down, 13.
Went on to pitch at Clemson and bounced around professional baseball for a while. He came home and took over this Fox Creek program. He's now the head coach at his alma mater at North Augusta. But as you said, led Fox Creek to the state championship in 17.
They went 20-7-5 that season. 3rd and 13. Need to get to the 34-yard line. Adams running for his life. And it'll be run out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, nice coming up making an open field play on him was Ricardo Jones, but good job by Adams to elude some guys in the backfield.
Basically got back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 4th and 10 for the Predators. And the offense does not appear to be going anywhere. And now here comes the kicking team.
Well, they probably had to think about it after the last punt.
Didn't work out, did
Do
it?
we really want to try this? Well, I would be shocked if we don't see one angled to the sidelines.
Walker is back there again, standing at the 15-yard line. And this one he will watch sail out of bounds. Good call, AB.
Yeah, that one almost landed in the Channel 6 truck.
Mike Adams.
Reminds me of years ago, Clemson played Miami when Devin Hester was returning everything for touchdowns for the Hurricanes. And Tommy Bowden said in his week of press conference, the one thing we're not going to do is kick to Devin Hester. What did the Tigers do? Touchdown.
Yeah,
It was right before Bowden's time at Clemson came to a close.
If you're the punter and you're supposed to punt away and you do punt to him, you darn sure better try to make the tackle at least.
Well, we're almost 8 full minutes into the ball game here. This is the first offensive snap for Silver Bluff. Well, it was going to be.
Well, it's our first chance to see, other than on the extra point, the first chance to see the two of the stars in the area.
Oh, Coachman.
We mentioned Dunbar. So much attention last year because in 6 games as a freshman, 16 rushing touchdowns, over 800 yards. He averaged about 10 yards a carry. Only 88 carries to get 819 yards. But the guy who got overshadowed is not bad either, and that's the quarterback, Malik Williams. We'll talk about his big game he had in week 0 against South Aiken in a moment. There's Dunbar.
On first down, it is Dunbar. And shows the quickness. Up to the 34.
Again, the talk coming into the season was all about Dunbar. And in game 1, Malik Williams, 13 of 14 passing, 214 yards, and 4 touchdowns. and he ran for a touchdown, and a touchdown, and he ran for a touchdown in that game against South Aiken. Dunbar also had a couple of rushing touchdowns as they roughed up the Thoroughbreds.
Last year, Dunbar 813 yards rushing and 18 touchdowns. That was only in 6 games. Mike.
That's what I'm saying. And he averaged 10 yards a carry almost. It's Malik Williams.
Pitch it to him here for the first down, and
There
look
he
at
goes.
this.
There he goes.
One man to beat.
Whoa.
What a play
Good
to
job
save the
chasing him down.
touchdown by Taryn Mays. We mentioned his prowess last week with the 2 picks and the 8 tackles, and he chases down Dunbar and saves a touchdown here.
Well, watch the athletic play by Williams. He waits till the last minute, fakes him out, and gets his man in open space. And by the way, give Mays credit. He just tracked down the 3rd place finisher in the 100 meters in the state meet last year in Trayvon Dunbar.
But not before he picked up 40 yards and a fairway forward first down at the Silver Bluff 26-yard line.
But again, in
Or
addition
Falls
to
Creek 26,
in
sorry.
addition to the blocking, it was Malik Williams able to manipulate the defense a little bit on that play.
It ain't broke, don't fix it. Back to Dunbar, and now a flag comes in late.
Well, Dunbar, although he's only a sophomore and has really only played 1 game as a sophomore, already generating some attention from some big programs. Some of the Power 5 schools already showing interest: Clemson, South Carolina, Florida State, Wake Forest, North Carolina.
And something we'll keep our eye on, Arthur Walker, who had the 76-yard punt return for touchdown, comes limping off for Silver Bluff as the Bulldogs back up.
Still first down. Got back state.
Yeah, I had to double check, AB, that Dunbar's only a sophomore. It feels like we've heard his name so much. And clearly the recruiters are as well.
Yeah, as advertised, though, so far.
And Williams throws for the first time.
Hits Nick Brown on the pass play. Got a flag down. And, folks, don't forget, you can get free large fries when you download the McDonald's app today and start earning points on every order. Points you can redeem for free McDonald's with the new My McDonald's Rewards, only in the app. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Second and about 14 for the Bulldogs. And Williams tries to set up the screen, nothing doing.
Yeah, they were trying to get it to Darius Dixon. Overthrew him a little bit. The quarterback, Malik Williams, again ranked as the 23rd best prospect in the class of 2023 by the High School Sports Report in South Carolina. And in addition, just like Dunbar, he's a track standout as well. Long jumps, about 20 feet.
Bulldogs need to get to the 16-yard line. They'll rely on Dunbar. Close, but not close enough.
Once again, number 21, Trayvon Dunbar on the carry. Brings up 4th and 9.
And Dunbar already as a sophomore with interest from Clemson and South Carolina, Florida State, Wake Forest, and North Carolina. As they'll stay on the field on 4th down. Again, the line to make the 16. They're going to go over the end zone and complete. Touchdown, Nick Brown. Wow.
Yeah, beautifully thrown ball. That ball was perfectly placed.
Take a look at the Busby's replay.
You couldn't have put it in a better spot. Williams throws the ball almost like his hands aren't quite big enough for the football, but he's been compared to Armani Edwards, who was at Appalachian State, of course, was a superstar there. And that ball is just perfectly placed to Nick Brown.
25 yards on the touchdown pass from Williams to Brown. And the Bulldogs will go for 2 again, and this time no, sir.
Malik Williams on the keeper. The 2-point
There is a
conversion
flag
no
down,
good.
so hold the phone here.
That brings the score to your Silver Bluff Bulldogs 14, the Fox Creek Predators nothing.
As on the Bulldogs declined. Clear score 14-0 with 90 seconds left here in quarter number 1. Impressive start for the Bulldogs, AB.
Yeah, I mean, the defense looks fast. The offensive playmakers are as advertised, and you throw in a special teams touchdown. And, yeah, I mean, it's 14-0 and not looking good for Fox Creek. They've got to get a drive going and string some first downs together and, get their offense some confidence, keep the Silver Bluff offense off the field. So far, the only way they kept them off the field is let them run a punt back, and that's not the way you want to do it.
No, not if you're Fox Creek. How about this? The punt was 76 yards for a touchdown. That drive, 76 yards for a touchdown. Took 2:47 off the clock.
Well, Silver Bluff's going to do this to a lot of folks. I mean, again, they beat a much bigger school in South Aiken handily with a 40-point-plus shutout in week 0.
Well, the hashtag around these parts is the Bluff is back. Well, not the Bluff is back, but Bluff is back. And there's a lot of history, a lot of traditions we touched on the opening segment. 5 state football championships, 86, 90, 91, 2000, 2001. Talked about Coach D'Angelo Bryant, who was the quarterback on those 2000, 2001 state championship teams. This is his 4th season now as the head coach at his alma mater. 13-15, but that's a little bit misleading because they've won their last 6 if you go back to last year. Of course, Coach Bryant went on to play at Wake Forest. And one thing he's, in addition to keeping Coach Lown close to this program, he has 6 assistants on his staff that are alumni of Silver Bluff.
Love to see that. Love to see that. Guys coming back, giving back to their school. They want to see order sort of restored here.
Predators start from the 34. Adams. Some room.
Yeah.
14-yard pickup.
Number 11 Adams on the keeper.
You see why he had, or how he had over 250 yards in their first game. Did Adams, along with 3 touchdowns, showing a little speed there.
Going back to Coach Bryant very quickly, they won his 2000, 2001 seasons. They won 30 straight games and 2 state titles.
That is crazy. And I got to tell you,
I covered those teams. I don't remember. That's amazing.
I don't know if they are a 15-0 team. Obviously that is a stretch maybe, but I would be surprised if they don't make a deep run in the playoffs. This is a good football team.
Give about 6 on the play.
As we tick under a minute here to play in quarter number 1. 2nd and 4 for the Predators. And it'll be close to a first down. And with that, we take you down to the sidelines for the first time. And Matt Lane with an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report.
Thank you, John. That's right. As AB was talking about, Fox Creek really struggling starting off this game, giving up a special teams touchdown, and then that long pass when it seemed like they had Silver Bluff dead to rights, finally stopping that offense a little bit. But for Fox Creek, that run by Adams right there, and then the following run, 2 of the biggest plays so far in this first quarter. We'll see if they can build on it because they got a long way to go. Back to you, John.
And this is a big 3rd down, 3rd and 1 from the 40, 1.5 we'll call it. And that's probably going to be the, they got the snap off before the end of the quarter, and they'll get the first down before the end of the quarter.
Good hard run that time.
So Quincy Wells has them set up 1st and 10. But after 1, it's Silver Bluff 14, Fox Creek nothing. Predators on the move, though, on Game Night Live. Fox Creek on the move as we begin quarter number 2 here in Petticoat Junction. Silver Bluff leading 14-0. Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
That's disaster for Fox Creek. Adams falls on it back in Predator territory at the 49.
Recovered by the Predators.
Loss of 17.
And while we got a moment, let's take a look at our QBs by the quarter. For the first quarter, brought to you by Culpeper, Ace Hardware, and Evans. Fox Creek quarterback Mike Adams, 6 carries for 19 yards. He's also passed the ball 3 times, completing 2 for 21 yards. And for Silver Bluff, Malik Williams has yet to run it, but he's thrown the ball 4 times, completing 3 for 33 yards, including a beautiful touchdown pass to Nick Brown.
So the Preds have the old 2nd and 27 here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for them because they were actually moving the ball pretty well on this drive, and all it takes is one miscue, and you get that doubt back in your head. You're playing a tough opponent. You're already down.
And we have an official timeout. Looks like Chandler O'Brien, the senior wideout for Fox Creek, had some sort of an equipment issue.
Well, they brought in Mays, and they might ought to try to throw one deep to him because he might be the fastest player on the field after watching him track down Dunbar earlier.
Let's see if Coach Lackey's listening. Nope, other side of the field. This is Jones. Pickup of 4.
Coach Lackey, his son, Leighton Lackey, who was a football standout in the area the last 3 seasons, decided not to play football his senior year. He is staying at Evans to finish out his high school career. He is committed to play baseball at Clemson and decided just to concentrate on baseball this season.
All right, AB, what do you do on 3rd and 23?
Well,
I like a little screen.
Possibly. Silver Bluff, they're so fast. Screens are tough on the team like that.
Oh, that's not going to matter. Down goes Adams. Ball is out. They're going to say he was down at the 35-yard line.
And Nathan's pointing out it's the 3rd tackle for loss.
They give credit to a host of Bulldogs on the sack. The player who came up with the football was Jaden Boyd, a sophomore lineman. So we'll give him a little TV time. And it's 4th and 39. What's the next town over? New Ellington? Where the Predators
I
need
wonder
to
if Presbyterian's coach would go for it here. He doesn't punt. 4th and 39, I wonder if he goes for it.
We've had a 4th and 33, I know, on Game Night Live. As this one will fall harmlessly. Not a bad kick. And the Dogs will take over at the 36-yard line. And if you're Fox Creek here, you need to stop.
You do, and they're playing a little tentative. I don't know if it's being on the road for playing a highly ranked opponent. I don't know what it is, but they do seem to be playing a little tentative. And the problem here, if you start keying Dunbar too much, Malik Williams certainly capable of eating you up as well. There he is.
It is Dunbar, head over heels for a gain of 9.
I tell you, one kid not playing tentative and not afraid to stick his head in there and make a play is Mays. Another good tackle by Taryn Mays, a senior defensive back. Problem when he's making tackles for you, that means the ball carrier's picked up some pretty good yardage.
Interesting. Dunbar, 1st down.
Well, they bobbled the ball in the backfield, and he still manages to pick up decent yardage.
Yeah, gain of 6 and a 1st down.
I like the way he runs. He runs like he just can't wait to get the football.
Again, 2 scores last week for Dunbar. Had the 2-point conversion earlier. Working on a big night. 1st and 10 Bulldogs from the 50. Guess who?
Well, it's nothing fancy. They're going right up the middle with them so far on this drive.
Well, the Bulldogs trying to impose their will. And if you keep your eye on number 75 on the offensive line for Silver Bluff, that's Corey Heath. All-state, all-region last year and already getting some small college interest. And one of the things about him, some of the highest grades on the team as well. Linemen tend to be smart.
He's a big boy for sure.
Offensive linemen are always the go-to for money sound bites. 2nd a yard.
And there's
And
Malik
Williams will keep. And another 1st down for the Dogs.
Yeah, I mentioned he's a track standout as well. The long jump, the triple jump. You see there, he's ultra quick.
First and 10 from the 31 of Fox Creek. Williams. And he had Jaden McLeod over the middle.
And McLeod got hit by Mays.
McLeod shaking up just a little bit.
Yeah, I think he might have had the wind knocked out of him almost there. Jaron Mays making his presence felt, at least for Fox Creek. Watch this. He's been in on a few hits tonight. Williams is very accurate. I mean, the ball's thrown where it needed to be. Just, McLeod heard the safety coming, and Mays might have caught him underneath the rib cage a little.
There's a flag on that anyway, so they backed him up 5 yards. We'll redo 1st down, 1st and 15 now from the 36. I never saw the flag come in.
I didn't either. That might have been why we heard the crowd erupt in boos.
Dunbar. And a nice play right at the line of scrimmage by Tyler Prescott.
Yeah, really nice play. Fighting off a block and able to make the tackle.
Got a couple back.
Pick up with 2 on the play, brings us 2nd and 12.
Williams directing traffic and has to get rid of it. Nice job by the Fox Creek defense.
Williams, a pass incomplete.
Matt pointing out difficult throw for a young quarterback to make, rolling against his body like that for the lefty Williams.
So another big play for the Predator defense here.
He already has more incompletions on this drive than he had all of the first game.
Unbelievable. Just
13 of
one
14,
last week.
Yeah.
So is it Dunbar, or will they let Williams try to throw for it? Need 12.
I think they'll throw it here.
In trouble is Williams. To the end zone. And just out of the outstretched arms of Nick Brown, trying to go for his 2nd score of the night.
Williams' pass incomplete. Intended for number 14.
Worth a shot there, because you would assume this is 2-down territory for the Bulldogs.
If you know already in your mind you're going to go for it on 4th down, then I might have gone to Dunbar. But they took a shot. They saw something, wanted to try. They've already hit Brown for 1 touchdown.
Now you almost have to throw. 4th and 12. Need to get to the 21.
Well, I mean, Dunbar averaged about 10 yards a carry.
Pressure from the Preds, and well played that time by Fox Creek. And that was Quincy Wells once again.
Well, Wells is the running back for Fox Creek that usually is the one catching that, and so maybe he was able to sniff it out because of that. But he made a nice play.
So good stop for the Preds. Silver Bluff, or Fox Creek will take over with 6:05 left in the half. Oh, they got a little bit of a jump on us, but you didn't miss anything. Just a holding against the Predators backs Fox Creek up to the 26-yard line. Be first and about 17.
Now the defense got to stop. Now you're the offense. You want to pick up the slack here and get a drive going.
Adams on the delay, and it's Wells. Gets a few of them back.
I like that play call there. Sometimes you can catch that aggressive defense coming at you, and that late handoff, and Wells able to pick it up on the delay.
Well, we've mentioned the Bluff is back, and Silver Bluff fans are turning out this year. The T-Mobile student section in fine form tonight. What do we have painted there? I can't read it. It looked like chaos, but that doesn't make. I don't. We'll get Matt Lane on the student section. See what's painted on those chests. In the meantime, it's 2nd and 11. It's going to be 1st and 10. The completion to Chandler O'Brien into Silver Bluff territory at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, nicely thrown ball, and O'Brien after the catch able to pick up some yardage as well.
Team number 2, Chandler O'Brien. That's enough for a Predator first down.
Matt Lane wasting no time reporting back to us on the student section chest painting, and apparently doesn't spell anything. Here's Wells.
Well, I think we're talking about two different things. I think Matt's talking about the T-shirts that all seem to have a message written on them.
I got you.
We're talking about the guys who painted their
All right, we'll send Matt back over to the student section to see what the guys have painted on their chests. It'll be 2nd and about 4 from the 39-yard line. Good-looking drive for the Predators. They needed this, and as soon as I say that, down goes Adams.
Anytime they do something behind the line that takes time, they're in jeopardy because Silver Bluff can get to the ball quickly. There's McLeod and company again, stuffing that one.
Lost 3, going to bring it 3rd and 7.
About 4 on the play.
Two-down territory, you would imagine?
3rd and 6.
Yeah, you would think so at this spot of the field for sure. That does open up the play calling a little bit. You can pretty much do anything here.
Adams will throw. In all sorts of trouble. Has to get rid of it. 4th down.
That one's tough because there wasn't a receiver really in the flats where he was rolling to, and that was going to be tough to turn around and throw against your body. 4th and 6, and yeah, I think at this spot of the field, you go for it.
Looked like Kyle Chavis on the coverage for Silver Bluff. That sounds familiar. So a big 4th down here for both squads from the 43.
The first thing they got to do is protect. And Nick Williams and company are going to have to keep Silver Bluff out of the backfield.
Adams tries to set up the screen and nothing doing. O'Brien couldn't bring it in. Turnover on downs.
Well, I know Nick Williams has a bunch of offers. We mentioned all the list of ACC and SEC programs. But on that play, McLeod beat him. Just a one-on-one matchup. McLeod's speed outdid the size and strength of Williams.
So 3:06 left in the half. Don't forget the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show coming up. We'll hear from the Silver Bluff Marching Band. Have an interview with Silver Bluff's principal. Tell you all about the great things going on here at the Bluff. As Dunbar, big pickup on first down. Looks like it's coming back, flag down late.
As good as Dunbar's looked running in the middle, on all the highlights I've watched on Huddle and the various websites, the best, when he's at his best, is when he takes that handoff and has that little bounce to the outside. He's wearing 21. Ezekiel Elliott does that little hop.
Holding.
Cook has it.
Still first down.
LaShawn McCoy used to have it. And when he does that little bounce to the outside, it's such a quick decision, and then he uses that speed.
Backs the Dogs up to the 37-yard line. Oh, thrown behind Nick Brown.
Yeah, he was being chased by number 24, Juan Hudson. Juan Hudson, by the way, just a freshman, pretty good looking ninth grader for Fox Creek.
Also at the half, we'll recognize our Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punters of the game and check the scoreboard around the CSRA. That's in 2 minutes and 42 seconds, but some business 10-2 here. Williams, another flag. And that was Walker, who had the punt return for touchdown earlier. But another flag here late.
Williams' pass complete, number 3. Arthur Walker, there are Walkers on the play.
The first one appears to be on Silver Bluff. The second one appears to be on Fox Creek, so we'll let Sam Miller sort it off.
Holding here, so take a 10.
And?
All right. We got a dead ball, personal foul. Oh. Dead ball. Dead ball.
Looked like he was doing a TikTok video for a second there. All the calls he had to
You'd
make.
know more about that than I would.
You got to stay up with the times, man.
Mm-hmm. So the end result of all of that is going to be 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 44. Second and a long 9, short 10, however you want to slice it. Williams to throw again. There's Brown. Oh, and what a tackle made. Was that Mays again?
No, I think it was 6. Adrian McWilliams that got him. Yeah.
Williams' pass complete.
And that saved a touchdown.
Or did he just trip?
I think he just tripped.
Yeah, I don't think anybody hit him. 6 was closest. I think he tripped.
First down at the 42 either way. Williams wants a bunch. And overthrows Brown.
Williams' pass incomplete, number 14. Big Brown.
It was a pickup of 15 on the previous pass play. But the Preds are lucky it wasn't 6 points. 2nd and 10 from the 42 of Fox Creek. 2 minutes left in the half. And it's Williams. And it's picked. Oh, it should have been picked. Wow.
That would have been
Oh,
a pick
my
six,
goodness.
maybe.
Anthony Franklin would be the first to tell you. He could have had a pick 6 there.
Yeah.
Williams' pass incomplete.
Let's squeeze in another Augusta Auto Auction sideline report with Matt Lane.
Thank you, John. For Fox Creek, you almost hope you don't run out of opportunities right there. A perfect opportunity for an interception. Silver Bluff really just the way more aggressive team, really taking it to them each and every block, even on the outside parts with the wide receivers. When a play doesn't even matter, they're still blocking to the whistle. That's something that Silver Bluff has always done. Fox Creek just seems like they haven't gotten woken up yet. Back to you, John.
Williams being chased. Complete. Just short of a first down, about a yard shy. Clock continues to run, 1:40, so 100 seconds left in the half, and they'll be about an inch shy.
Our friend who watches in Kansas City each week.
Love that guy.
Checking in low Cleveland, and he made a great comparison. You know who he said Dunbar reminds him of? Warwick Dunn.
Very good call.
Pretty good comparison there. And I think he would be pretty pleased if he had a career like Warwick Dunn.
I think Warwick Dunn is a great person to be compared to on and off the field.
On and off, you're right. People don't know, his story. A lot of people know him as the athlete and what he's done after football with building homes for single moms. But, Warwick Dunn, when he was in high school, his mom was a police officer, and she was doing a special as security guard at a big box store. And someone robbed the store and shot and killed his mom. And Charlie Ward, who was a senior when Warwick Dunn was a freshman, went to Bobby Bowden and said, I want a room with him.
Wow.
And brought him in and kind of took him under his wing. And what a great role model to have, Charlie Ward. And, of course, those two together ended up leading Florida State to the national title in '93. I wasn't happy about that or anything.
No, not at all. Well, I was going to say Warwick Dunn's one of those guys you and I definitely agree on.
Yeah,
former Seminole great, former Falcon great. And the officials measured it just to be sure, and it is 4th and very short for Silver Bluff.
See, there's the shirts Matt was talking about. He was trying to read all the various.
All different.
Yeah, they got different writing in
the T-Mobile student section. Well, we were just zipping right along here. Now everything's sort of come to a halt.
I love watching these guys coaching up these young players. Walker was getting some instruction there on what to do coming off the ball. Because when you're a receiver, half of it's blocking. It's not, especially in this offense. Nathan's saying play action to Dunbar.
You need about 6 inches. That would be gutsy.
Yeah.
When you've got Dunbar. It's Dunbar, and a flag is down.
I think it's on. Is it on Fox Creek?
If it's on Fox Creek, it's an automatic first down, but the Bulldogs are walking the other way.
False start.
Oh, it is, okay. The Fox Creek coaching staff looked angry. Maybe they were just really fired up about the.
Well, that changes things just a bit. Now it's 4th and 6.
Well, one thing Williams, as good an athlete and all as he is, he doesn't get rid of the ball quickly. He doesn't have a quick release. So when you're trying to set up a quick throw to the running backs, and that's what you may call here, allows the defense time to get to the ball.
They'll do it to Dunbar anyway, and it's first down. And the drive continues. Move the chains for Silver Bluff inside the 30, a fairway forward first down.
Draw play to. And you got this kind of weapon as a coach. It's so hard not to want to just give him the ball every time because at any point he can break it and take it all the way.
Pick up 9 for Dunbar. They'll swing it out to him on first down, and good pursuit by the Predators.
You think they were keying on him on that play? It looked like they ran about 10 guys off the sidelines that time to tackle him. They were all right there on top of it as Wells comes up a little gingerly there.
And the Bulldogs will take a timeout with 69 seconds left to stop the clock. We mentioned in the opening segment, AB, that the Silver Bluff, the tradition here, you had Troy Williamson. We saw him in the opening segment, taken in the first round of the NFL draft back in 2005.
Overall, right?
7th overall. Cordrea Tankersley had so much success in the NFL. But the guy right now who's having the most success in the NFL from Silver Bluff, we've got some video here. Take a look at DeMarcus Lawrence. And if you were watching the first NFL game last night of this season, you saw he had a big game. In fact, Chris Collinsworth on the broadcast said he's the best defender on the Dallas team. He had 5 tackles, a forced fumble. He's class of 2009 here in Silver Bluff before going on to Boise State, taken in the second round of the 2014 draft, 34th overall. And how about this? D'Angelo Bryant said in that opening segment, you can go from Silver Bluff to anywhere you want to be. DeMarcus Lawrence right now the 26th highest paid player in the NFL.
Yeah.
$21 million a year.
Well, and here's the thing, you mentioned Boise State, but this will show you can take any route you want to, because before Boise State, he played junior college ball. So he went to from Silver Bluff, tiny school, junior college, and now, like you said, making over $20 million a year.
One of these guys could be the next to take it to the next level. As the pass falls incomplete, it'll be 3rd and 13.
Yeah, Brown, that one was pretty well thrown. Brown just unable to make the catch in traffic.
1:04 left to play.
Brings up 3rd down.
And so far, if I see any kind of drawback from Silver Bluff, it is the fact that, it's usually in the passing game they're going to Brown. And
I don't think
they threw one pass to Walker, I think.
And otherwise, it's been
Brown or Dunbar.
We'll see if it's going to Brown again. This time it is complete over the middle. And the other Marcus Washington.
There you go.
We've heard the name Marcus Washington attached to Burke County and Grovetown now, and now Silver Bluff, and a big first down.
Well, there's been some Washingtons here over the years, some Lawrences here over the years.
And Dunbar pushing ahead close to the goal line as the Bulldogs are into the Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone. $33, $32, $31. Dogs trying to get up and score before the end of the half. It's Dunbar. It's a touchdown.
Well, again, Mays giving all he's got low and clipped him, but Dunbar falls into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the night.
2-yard plunge for Dunbar. And the Bulldogs looking very impressive in this first half.
Yeah, just kind of methodical. They're very calm. The defense is fired up and jumping all around, but the offense just seems very calm. Malik Williams not getting too high, too low.
Gonna go for 2 again. Williams chased, throws, Brown. It's good.
Well, being able to buy you some time with those legs allowed him to get his receiver open, Brown, and he threw a strike.
2-point conversion is good.
So with 23 seconds left, the Bulldogs extend the lead to 22-0. And don't forget, they will receive the second half kickoff as well. So things setting up well for D'Angelo Bryant's bunch.
Man, Lemuel Lackey's got to be frustrated. You gave up a punt, returned for a score, and on a play where several guys missed tackles. And just they seem a little tentative on offense.
57 yards on the drive for Silver Bluff. And the 2-yard touchdown by Dunbar makes it 22-0. Don't forget the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show coming up with Matt Lane.
Yeah, some good matchups around the area tonight. We'll get some scores. And
on the South Carolina Governor's School of Agriculture scoreboard. So lots to look forward to at the half. But still 23 seconds left here in the first. The big fella kicks it away. Connor Barton. And the Preds will have it at the 40 with 18.3. Gives us a chance to mention we had to call an audible tonight due to some COVID issues. We were originally going to be at Strom Thurmond against South Aiken. Thoroughbreds had some issues and didn't get back on the field till late this week. Next week, we were originally scheduled to be in Barnwell, where the Warhorses were to take on Bamberg Earhart, one of the better rivalries in our area. But again, because of some schedule shuffling on the South Carolina side, we'll be in Harlem next week to see that new-looking resurgent Bulldog team take on the traditional power Lincoln County.
We'll see 3 great running backs in that game. Tevin Gartrell from Lincoln County and the 2-headed monster of Jason Williams and Jacorius Bryant, or Jacorius Bird for Harlem.
Adams picked off by Malik Mazzone.
Well, Nick Williams coming up and laying the lumber there at the end.
The Preds were not just content to go into the locker room. And now Silver Bluff, with 3 seconds left, I mean, you can chunk one deep here if you want.
Yeah, that's the problem when you're not content. If you do make a turnover, you dig yourself possibly a deeper hole. Not a lot of time left, obviously, but time for one play.
And we'll see if D'Angelo O'Brien elects to take this 22-point lead into the locker room and try to add to it. The flip side of that is if you do something wrong here, if you're Silver Bluff, then you give
Maybe
momentum back to Fox Creek.
Yeah, let them back in the game maybe.
28-yard return by Mazzone.
First and 10.
Looks like they're lining up a play.
47-yard line.
They do not seem to be ready to take a knee.
The Fox Creek 47. Let's see what Brown can do with it. What can Brown do for you? He can get it to the 38-yard line.
Pad his stats a little bit.
And that'll do it. So the Dogs took a shot, had nothing to lose really. And at the end of the first half, Silver Bluff looking very impressive, leading 22-0. All right, the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show is coming up with Matt Lane. That's after this. Silver Bluff leads at the half, 22-0 over Fox Creek on Game Night Live.
Eichholz Law Firm halftime. They are winning 22-0 over Fox Creek so far. We are now going to hear from the Silver Spirit, Silver Bluff High School's band, who's about to take the field right now and actually start playing. So we'll let them take it from here.
The 2021 Silver Spirit drum major is Arlen Mack. Drum manager Arlen Mack, is your band ready? Silver Spirit, you may now take the field for exhibition. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Silver Bluff Silver Spirit marching band. Silver Spirit will be back in action next week with more additions to the show. They would like to thank school administration, faculty, students.
And welcome back onto the field for our iColts halftime show, iColts Law Firm halftime show. That was Silver Bluff's band playing right there, some Bohemian Rhapsody. We're going to be joined by Katie Briscoe, Silver Bluff principal, right after this. And welcome back on the field for our iColts Law Firm halftime show. I'm now joined with Katie Briscoe, Silver Bluff High School principal. Thank her so much for joining us here on the field. And Katie, kind of a wild school year, this one, this game. We actually changed it from another game, but we're able to have it. Can you just kind of speak to that a little bit and what you guys and gals have had to do throughout this school year as things kind of have changed up again?
Sure. It feels so good to be back out here on a Friday night for Friday Night Lights. This is so important for our school, our community. I'm excited for all of the students that are out here tonight, all the ones that are getting to enjoy this and play. It's a huge deal considering the number of challenges that we are experiencing currently with COVID, positive cases, and the number of quarantines that we currently have.
Can you speak to the students a little bit? Just how's their attitude about it? Again, a lot of folks having to do it last year. You know, it's back again, some of the restrictions and things you got to do. How are they taking it? Are they trying to stay positive?
I think so. Silver Bluff is made up of just champions, and I mean that wholeheartedly. My teachers, my faculty and staff, we are all here to do what's best for the students. The students know that. They believe that. Wholeheartedly, they would much rather be in our building than on quarantine. So we're doing everything we can to meet their needs during the time that they're away from us.
Well, let's talk about something fun. Has anything cool happened during this that you've been able to kind of take a positive reflection from of it? Any great story, anything positive?
So I think our sense of community just within our school and community is stronger than ever. We are functioning as one. We know that we are all we have, and we're doing our best to, just see through day to day and make the best of the situation that we are in.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the field. I know we kind of asked you last minute, and thank you so much for joining us here, and good luck the rest of the school year.
Thank you so much.
While we got you here, we're going to go over we're going to give out some hardware for some punters for our Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award winner punters of the game. Really quick, for Fox Creek, senior Mike Adams, actually doing a little dual purpose there. He is our punter of the game for Fox Creek. And then for Silver Bluff, junior Carson Browder. So again, our Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punters of the game for Fox Creek, senior Mike Adams and junior Carson Browder for Silver Bluff. We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of the iColts Law Firm halftime show right after this.
iColts Law Firm halftime show rolls on from Petticoat Junction, where Silver Bluff leads Fox Creek by the score of 22-0. Time to get you our QBs by the quarter for quarter number 3, brought to you as always by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Yeah, starting with Mike Adams, quarterback at Fox Creek. 4 of 8 passing in the first half for 46 yards. No touchdowns, did have an interception. His rushing numbers are skewed because he had a couple of tackles behind the line that were, fumbled snap, things like that. 9 for -17 on the ground. And for the flip side, Malik Williams, 1 carry for 10 yards, 9 of 16 passing for 84 yards, and he does have a touchdown as well.
As this one is 22-0, a lot of other games we're keeping an eye on around the area tonight. Let's take a look at our South Carolina as the officials make their way back into position up here in the press box. The South Carolina Governor School of Honors South Carolina Governor School of Agriculture scoreboard, but there are a lot of honor students.
A few surprises, not necessarily that the team is winning, but that the team's winning by as much as they are, and that would be Grovetown 24-0 over Greenbrier, and Aquinas hammering First Presbyterian 27-0. ARC and Evans, we thought it would be tight. It is 13-12. Evans leads. And as you see some of the other scores, Greenwood on top of North Augusta 14-7. Swainsboro leads Waco 13-8, the score there. Also Lakeside and Effingham County, a tight one. Effingham up 7-0. Josie trying to hang in there with Strom Thurmond at 7-0 there. And Bamberg-Gerhardt leads Estill. That score is 14-0.
So that'll put a wrap on the iColts Law Firm halftime show. We do appreciate you watching. The second half is next. The Bulldogs will have the ball first after deferring the opening kick. And that's coming up. Game Night Live continues 22-0 Bulldogs. Almost ready for the second half kickoff. Give you an idea of how we got there. Silver Bluff with a punt return, 76 yards by Arthur Walker, and then this long touchdown pass to Nick Brown from Malik Williams, and then Trayvon Dunbar. That was the first part of his 2-yard touchdown run. Dunbar with a big first half. 9 carries, 89 yards, and that touchdown. And the Bulldogs with a 22-0 lead.
Just as Dunbar did all of last season, averaging about 10 yards a carry.
So, AB, thoughts on the first half? What do you see in the second half?
Well, I think Fox Creek's got to come out, limit mistakes, and they got to play. There's a few players out there you can see are giving it everything, and there's a little. I mentioned they were a little tentative on offense. They're going to have to come out and let it all hang out in this half if they're going to try to get back in the game, and they're going to have to create some turnovers of their own. And then for Silver Bluff, you've got the cushion to be able to hand it to Dunbar, 10, 12 times if you want this half, and they're going to have to stuff the line and make Malik Williams beat them throwing the ball.
Well, our statistician Nathan Edwards points out in weeks 1 and 2 of Game Night Live, the last 2 weeks, we have had dramatic comebacks. Fox Creek going to try to make it 3 for 3, but this is a much more steep hill to climb than Augusta Christian and Greenbrier faced last week.
Well, and you're also playing a top 5 team in the state.
So the clock says we're ready to go. But while we wait for the teams to line up, a couple of reminders. Don't forget, Football Friday night, 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6. Brendan Robertson, Colin Cody. The only 30-minute show in town dedicated exclusively to high school football highlights. AB and I will wrap this one up. That's 11:35 Football Friday night over on WJBF News Channel 6. Don't forget, follow Game Night Live for your scores, game highlights, player photos at WJBF Sports and at WJBF News Channel 6 Sports on Facebook. We got you covered on the social media, and of course at AB Sportsline on Twitter, at John Hart WJBF. Any other ones you'd like to plug, AB?
No, I keep a low profile. Ashley Brown on Facebook. I update some stuff there too. So.
And of course, don't forget, one of these two teams is going to be ready to watch this encore presentation on Sunday. As always, Game Night Live, the rebroadcast every Sunday at noon on WJBF News Channel 6. And this week, it's a good countdown to your NFL kickoff.
That's right. Well, last week, a lot of people were clamoring about the great matchup, great game played by Greenbrier and Lakeside. And loved a lot of comments I got on the rebroadcast, what a great game that was. And there's no doubt the first 2 weeks we have had thrillers.
By the way, speaking of social media, you can find the full game broadcast of that Lakeside Greenbrier game from last Friday night, Instant Classic on Game Night Live, on my YouTube page. Shameless plug. Wow.
Wow, that was close.
That was dangerous for the Bulldogs, but they'll take over. Dominique Davis on the receiving end for Silver Bluff. They'll have it at the 26-yard line. You look at the first half stats between these two, and one thing that really stands out to you, Silver Bluff outgained Fox Creek 183-57, but Fox Creek dominated the time of possession, 14:53 to 9:07.
Well, and then you look at yards per play, 7 per play for Silver Bluff, just 2 yards per play for Fox Creek.
And if I had to guess, I would say we're going to see a healthy dose of Trayvon Dunbar in the second half.
Well, at least in the third quarter. Well, if Fox Creek gets back in this game, the entire time. But if Silver Bluff stays in control, I don't know that we'll see much in the fourth.
It is Dunbar, chased down from behind by Juwan Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson we mentioned in the first half. He's just a ninth grader. I mean, Dunbar's only a sophomore, and it's crazy, John. I say this a lot. Back in our day, my day especially, a freshman, you were on the JV, and usually as a sophomore, you're on the JV. The varsity was pretty much just juniors and seniors, and of course that day is gone, and we're seeing more and more young players ready to play right away when they step on the high school campus. And here's Dunbar.
Yep, Dunbar, and he's gone.
What a fake.
Dunbar with a move at the 25. Touchdown.
The fake he
69 yards.
The fake he made on either the linebacker or the safety that came up. I'm not sure which. Wow.
I said he was gone, and I started to doubt myself, and then the move.
Watch the move he made just as he gets past the line of scrimmage, though, into the linebacker area at least. And that is again, we had heard our first chance to see him live. I've watched a lot of video on him, and everybody said he is a special runner. 11 carries, 164, and 2 touchdowns now.
And the Dogs will go for 2 again.
And Malik Williams had his man, Nick Brown, in the back of the end zone, but actually he was going for number 11 that time, Chris Turner, and it was incomplete.
28-0, Silver Bluff.
And what a fake he made. Wow.
That took all of 49 seconds off the clock.
I might break into the coach's office and erase that tape if I'm the defender on that one. I don't want to see that one again. Well, then again, all they'll do is watch the rebroadcast on Sunday.
High noon on Sunday. I feel there might be a few Bulldog fans that are tuned in.
Well, they knew we were coming. Malik Williams tweeted out.
He did.
And he copied, put you in there.
Well, he's a very smart kid.
Yeah.
And you can tell that because he followed me on Twitter as well. I gave him the follow back. I really enjoy when these high school players interact with us on social media during the week, especially on game weeks. It's a lot of fun for us. Hopefully it's a lot of fun for them.
And it's so you and I have covered football a long time. First came, the cell phone and being able to text scores, and now social media where you actually can interact with the players. I mean, if you want to find out recruiting info, you just message a player on their social media. Times have just changed.
Mays on the return. Pretty good return across the 30.
Yeah, he's been impressive tonight. Of all the Fox Creek players, Mays, a really speedy guy. He's been the guy that has kind of stood out to me a little bit. Adams, obviously is a great player. He's just Silver Bluff's speed tonight has hurt him a little bit running the football.
During our visit this week, D'Angelo Bryant, the head coach here at Silver Bluff, told me, I was joking with him saying, you make me feel old because his senior year here at Silver Bluff was my first year in Augusta. I covered him as a player, now covering him as a head coach. And he said, I've got the old VHS tapes of Football Friday Night from, if you're 15-0 or 30-0 for over 2 seasons, well, I'd save those tapes too.
VHS, a lot of people were watching this are going, what is a VHS tape?
But, he made the point back then. They would go home, and a lot of times they didn't know the other scores. No. You talk about the difference with social media now. They didn't know the other scores, and so they would go home and watch Football Friday Night to find out who won. Yeah. And, of course, now you just pick up a phone.
And one of the Silver Bluff players, Devon Simpkins, comes up a little, favoring one of his legs there.
Now we got a Fox Creek player down as well. Let's see if I can get a number on him. Oh, boy. That's not good. That's Quincy Wells. One of the workhorses of this Fox Creek offense.
But really on both sides of the ball, too. They'll miss him if he's not in the game on defense as well.
He had 6 carries for 21 yards in the first half. So we'll keep an eye on him.
Well, he's coming off a game where he had over 130 yards in their opener.
And 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he's up. And Christina Smith of the Fox Creek training staff, one of the trainers there, a friend of our very own Matt Lane. Very nice job, and it looks like Wells is okay. Certainly good news for Fox Creek. He'll come out for a play on 2nd and 7.
Well, Fox Creek needs some first downs. They need clock to run.
Oh, boy.
Not that.
Play is blown up. Ball on the ground. Bulldogs have it. And this is domination by Silver Bluff.
That was a strange play. The defender was back there so fast.
Let's take a look on the Busbys. Eating in a replay and just, miscommunication on the handoff.
The quarterback saw he was about to get hit and tried to shuttle it to the back. He wasn't looking at that point because he thought at that point he's a blocker. And just a big mistake there by Adams.
And I believe it was McLeod again.
He has been all over the place on defense.
And boy, oh boy, Silver Bluff in great field position again. From the 28, Williams will keep, spins to the 19.
And he is an underclassman as well, folks, just a junior. A lot of quickness.
He had 10 rushing yards in the first, add another 9 to that to go with his 84 yards passing in the first half and the touchdown. Of course, is already.
You mentioned D'Angelo Bryant going to Wake Forest, and if you think about it, the CSRA, we've had kind of a pipeline to Wake Forest. With Anthony Young,
North Augusta.
North Augusta with Willie Yarberry from ARC, with Thomas Brown from Greenbrier.
Dunbar gets free again into the
Augusta Malco kid from Aquinas. We've had a bunch of people play at Wake Forest.
Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone go the Bulldogs. And a 1st and goal at the 9. Gain of 10 for Dunbar.
Some frustration on the Fox Creek defense with a couple of guys. And I get it. It's, especially you've waited 3 weeks to play somebody, and things just have not gone their way tonight.
A flag flies from the far end of the field. Sideline warning against the Predators.
Yeah.
Some of that frustration you're talking about.
Their headset. By the way, Greenbrier's on the board. Finally getting an update. They were being shut out by Grovetown.
Well, we were discussing during the half, Grovetown might be one of the most improved teams in our area.
Not from last year. How about just improved from the time y'all saw them in the scrimmage?
Exactly. We saw them. We did our Game Night Live.
They did not look good, according to everything I heard. So.
We did our Game Night Live practice run-through, basically dress rehearsal. It was Grovetown and ARC, and ARC dominated that scrimmage. Here's Dunbar, speaking of dominating, in for 6 more.
His 3rd touchdown.
9 yards for his 3rd score of the night. And the Bulldogs are pouring it on.
John, that's 23 touchdowns in less than 8 varsity football games. And again, it's that little hesitation, little bounce into the hole.
184 yards on the night now for Dunbar.
He is, like I said, I was looking forward to this one to watch him play. I'd heard so much last year. And here's Williams. He's going to get I don't know if he does get the 2-point conversion. Mays with a big hit right at the line.
And we've said it, there is no quit in Taryn Mays.
No. But you also have to keep in mind, you're down 34-0. There's no point in getting any kind of crazy penalty or taunting or anything like that. You made a good play. Go back to the sideline.
Looks like cooler heads have prevailed. Bulldogs all over the Predators, 34-0. The number 5 team in the state of South Carolina in Class 2A, looking every bit of it tonight, leading Fox Creek 34-0.
Yeah, I said they may be undervalued in that poll because they've got a dynamic football player in Trayvon Dunbar. And Malik Williams is talented, and McLeod is very good. Nick Brown, they've got some players, but, man, Dunbar is special.
And we keep saying 2A, vicious hit applied by Jaden Boyd. Boyd, another junior on this team. So much young talent on this Silver Bluff squad. And watch this.
Ooh, big hit. Candidate for hit of the game, John Hart?
Could be the East Central Health District hit of the game. That, of course, coming up after the game, as well as the Powerade play of the game and the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. I have a decent idea on the offense. Defense will.
Yeah.
Oh, ball's out again, and things just going from bad to worse for the Predators.
Yeah, this is tough. Again, this is a team that put up over 40 in their first game and ran the ball at will.
Well, and we keep talking about Silver Bluff being a two-way team, but they put up 44 on a 4A team in South Aiken, and that's no slouch.
Shut them out
in week 1. Matt Lane reports from the sidelines that Davon Simpkins, senior lineman,
he got hurt on the
off.
last series and stayed in and maybe retweaked it.
2nd and 14.
And one player we haven't talked much about, and they're going to run behind him on this play, is Nick Williams. The big offensive lineman, number 75 in white. Get a look at him there in the middle of your screen. He's 6'5", 305 pounds for Fox Creek. And he's got offers from Florida State, Florida, Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia Tech, Maryland, Michigan State, Mississippi State, Tennessee, Penn State, NC State, West Virginia, Syracuse. Tons of offers for the big fella.
Well, and if you add up the two number 75s on the field tonight, you've got about 600 pounds worth of linemen.
Yeah. But again, Williams did his part there.
Oh, boy. Screen goes nowhere. Tried to get it to Mays. And it'll be 4th down, and it'll be interesting to see if the Predators go for it here. I mean, what do you got to lose? You're down 34-0. My guess is Silver Bluff will call off the Dogs on the next offensive possession. No, well, I guess pun intended.
Well, Coach Lackey was super frustrated after that play. And, again, this is a guy who's went to the playoffs 12 of his 14 seasons as a head coach. He is used to winning football games, and tonight it has been a struggle.
But it's year 1, just game 2.
Yep.
We've both known Coach Lackey for a long time, and he'll get it straightened out. But this is a tough task tonight against the Silver Bluff team, and they're going to have great field position again. It's Walker who had the 76-yard punt return for a touchdown earlier, and he'll dance to the 42-yard line of Fox Creek. Flag in late. Matt Lane from the sideline said it's on Zayden Davis, another one of the Bulldogs.
Dead ball, personal foul on the blue from right there.
And Sam Miller clears it up for us.
Personal foul against the Bulldogs.
So that'll negate the nice return by Walker.
Fifteen-yard penalty. Still 1st and 10 Bulldogs.
We'll back the Bulldogs up to the 43-yard line. Name that tune, AB.
I know it's Camilla Cabello.
Nice. Wow. And what is her current Disney Plus movie?
Cinderella.
God, you are. These aren't even the trivia questions, by the way. That's not.
And she used to be in Fifth Harmony.
Oh, man.
She's dating Shawn Mendes.
No, stop.
I've got a 14-year-old daughter, John.
Stop. Yeah, okay, that's why.
I did say at work the other day, one of the guys put a video or on his phone, a ringtone came on, and it was an embarrassing like pop song, like Young Girl. And I said who it was singing, Olivia Rodrigo. And I said, I don't know what's more embarrassing, that song just came on your phone or that I knew who was singing it.
You know what? I got to side with you on this one. I like Olivia Rodrigo.
Me too.
Big fan. Dunbar just picking and choosing his lanes, spins and stays in bounds to the 36-yard line.
Well, it's scary to think that this kid basically has 3 years of high school left. I mean, he's got this whole year and then 2 more. Finished 3rd in the 100 meters last year as a freshman in AA in the state.
That'll put him over 200 yards rushing
And that's the
on the
biggest
night.
performance we've had so far. We've had some good ones on Game Night live this year, but that's the biggest so far.
To go along with his 3 touchdowns. If he scores again, he'll tie Kevin Sapp from Lakeside a week ago with 4 touchdowns in that heartbreaking loss for the Panthers. Williams will keep. Give him a couple. If you can hear me in the truck, if you guys could edit out the part where Ashley and I talked about our musical tastes over the last 5 minutes before the re-air on Sunday, that would be great.
Way too much about female pop singers.
Way too much information. Under 2 minutes now here in the third. Second and 7. Williams still firing. Brown's
quietly piling up some numbers, too.
And a fairway forward first down at the 24-yard line.
14, Nick Brown.
As the Bulldogs continue to eat up the clock, already leading 34-0. 80 seconds, now less than that to go in the third. And if they score here, this might be the last we see of Trayvon Dunbar and Malik Williams. And possibly Nick Brown. Dunbar again now just dragging people inside the Augusta disposal and recycling red zone. Let's sneak in an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report and Matt Lane.
Not a lot of talking for Fox Creek going on the defense right now, just kind of down, nothing really going their way. And for Silver Bluff, just marching down the field slowly, surely, methodically, just getting closer to that end zone and putting another score on the board. Not looking good for Fox Creek. Back to you, John.
And this Fox Creek defense that wasn't on the field that much in the first half. As Williams with a nice move inside the 10, first and goal.
He's really quick. He reminds me, and I'm trying to remember the name, but you may, John, I don't know, but Strom Thurmond had a really good team. Actually, it was right before you moved here. Strom Thurmond had a great team in the late 90s where they had 3,000-yard rushers. Wright Jordan was the star who transferred from Wardlaw Academy, went to South Carolina, great player. But they had a quarterback last name Bowman, and I can't remember his first name. And Williams really reminds me of him, how he runs this offense.
Well, that'll do it for 3 quarters of play. All Silver Bluff, 34-0. Silver Bluff leading 34-0 and 9 yards away from more as we begin this fourth quarter. An impressive showing by the number 5 team in the state. Starters stay in for the end of the drive. Dunbar, big hole, his 4th score of the night.
Yeah, too easy. Too easy.
Dunbar on the run, there's another touchdown.
And definitely a candidate to be our McDonald's Offensive Player of the Game. I think the drama will be who the Defensive Player of the Game will be for Silver Bluff.
There's one guy that's kind of stood out to me.
So stay tuned for that in the post-game show. As it does appear we have a running clock here in the fourth quarter. The clock is not stopping, so we were wondering if with such a deficit, and that does appear to be the case. And we're going to get a timeout. Silver Bluff here to talk about it. While they do that, let's sneak in our Stump AB trivia question, America's favorite segment. Last week I was very hard on you, AB. I asked you a Grey's Anatomy question, which of course had a connection to Lakeside through Josh Kelly, the singer, his wife, Katherine Heigl. So I'm going to go easy on you. We've talked about Troy Williamson, the number 7 overall pick in the 2005 NFL draft. Who was the number 1 overall pick in that draft?
Okay.
If you know it, go ahead and answer. We'll go ahead and knock it out.
Let me think.
All right, we'll give you a minute. Would you like a hint?
Sure. I'm never going to turn down a hint.
This might give it away. He just retired a few months ago.
Okay.
So while you all think about that,
I'll think about it too.
Bulldogs talk about this.
The problem is, John, you know how my mind works. I go by who the rookies were in the sports card industry. And the problem was they were overshadowed in 05 because that was the first year that Aaron Rodgers really took over.
Right.
Actually, you know what? That was his year.
Rodgers was in that draft.
Rodgers was in that draft like 20, so it was Carr.
No.
It wasn't Carr.
Is that your final answer?
No.
Okay,
Alex Smith. Alex Smith is my final answer.
After the kick, we'll give you the answer.
I was the same school. I was thinking Carr, but it was Alex Smith.
Hey, we have an extra point attempt. Keep your seats, everybody. Connor Barton on for the point after. Hey, let him.
He nailed it.
Let him kick more.
He almost kicked one of the players through it. And there it was. It was, man, I tell you, number one for Fox Creek.
Darren Mays.
Mays has given everything he's had tonight.
41-0, all Silver Bluff. It has been all Silver Bluff tonight. Not a fun evening for the team in white.
Well, I knew Silver Bluff would score a bunch of points. I thought Fox Creek would put some points up too, but Silver Bluff's defense has been quick. Here goes Mays.
Yeah,
though.
Mays.
Oh,
and he lost the ball. Fox Creek will recover it. Alex Walker on the spot.
It would have been fitting, though, had Mays been the guy to break through and score because he's been giving it everything he's had tonight on defense.
Fumble play recovered by Fox Creek.
While we have a moment, let's sneak in our QBs by the quarter, as always, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
That's right, and it's Adams, Mike Adams, 4 of 9 passing for 46 yards. He's had a rough night on the ground. That's for Fox Creek. For Silver Bluff, Malik Williams, 10 of 17, 92 yards and a touchdown. He's run the ball 11 times for 31 yards as well. That's your QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Cash Johnson on the first down carry. Cash with a K.
Well, I think Lem Lackey knew he was running into a buzzsaw tonight against a tough team. I think he's still going to be pretty frustrated, feeling like there were some opportunities. And it all started on the punt return when really there were about 3 or 4 Fox Creek players that could have made a play and just unable to bring down the return man.
Well, you think how far as Adams keeps, and a nice gain by Adams down the sideline. Pushed out at the 25-yard line.
And that's what he was able to do at will a few weeks ago against Ben Lippen when he rushed for 253.
30-yard pickup here. But you think about how far Fox Creek has come, not only as a program, but this is a relatively new school as Silver Bluff has a player down. And another player shaken up. It's Mazzone who is shaken up. And Zayden Davis, a senior defensive back, down for Silver Bluff. So while they attend to him, we'll get our trivia answer. Again, the question was, who was the first overall pick in the 2005 NFL Draft? Your answer, AB?
Alex Smith, Utah.
Answer, please. Very well done. You're back on track. You're 2-1 this year.
Did Alex Smith play in Grey's Anatomy? Because if so,
he did not. But I'll tell you what, both of our teams had a very good draft that year as well. Do you remember who the Steelers picked in 05?
Oh, man, 05. Who did they take? Because it was Roethlisberger the year before. Well, it's not the trivia question. He threw a lot of touchdowns to this guy. Was it in? No, not Antonio.
Nope.
Hines Ward?
As Davis is up and running off the field. Tight end.
Oh, Heath Miller?
Very good.
Yeah, Heath Miller, Virginia.
And the Falcons went with Roddy White out of the University of Alabama, Birmingham, which is who Georgia faces tomorrow.
And by the way, a sleeper for this year in the NFL is the Steelers' second-round pick, another tight end, Peter Freiermuth.
You like that, huh?
I do like him. I think he's got a chance to be pretty darn good.
First down for the Predators, and the wall of blue once again as Damon Walker gets his first carry of the night for the Predators. But we talk about Fox Creek. This is a school that just opened 17 years ago, 2004. And I remember when they first opened, they were in remember the old slot machine places they used to have across the river in South Carolina? Yeah. The school was in one of those. And now they have a beautiful facility just off of Old Edgefield Road and near the Edgefield County line. They play their home games over at Lions Field. And a tried and true coach in Lemuel Lackey. Everything's looking up for Fox Creek. It's just not their night tonight.
Yeah, they got lucky to get Lackey.
Well, this is not Adams, or it is Adams, sorry. Looking at the wrong number, and he wanted it all and overthrew his man. And it'll be third down. As for Silver Bluff, not an old school in its own right, opened back in 1981. They basically tied the communities of Beach Island and Jackson and New Ellington together and made one high school, a centrally located high school. And they decided to call it Silver Bluff because of the nearby Silver Bluff on the Savannah River, which is where Hernando de Soto landed. I know, AB, from your history classes at Evans and Lakeside.
Yeah, he was a four-star, right?
All about the Predators face a 3rd and 10 here. The T-Mobile student section at Petticoat Junction with lots to jump and cheer about tonight. Those are all Bulldogs. What do you got for me?
Well, Nathan has gone back in his bag of tricks and pulled out the top rushing performances, at least in the last few years on Game Night Live. Going back to 2018, Jaden Jenkins of Jefferson County rushed for 326 yards and 4 touchdowns against Harlem. Last year in the opener, Darius Stone, who's now at one of the service academies for Aquinas, rushed for 258 and 3 touchdowns. His counterpart that night, Jeremiah Ellis, for Harlem, rushed for 234. And tonight, getting on that list in the 4th position, is Trayvon Dunbar, 221 yards and 4 scores for the sophomore.
Wow. So not just a great night, a historic night for Dunbar as far as Game Night Live goes. Adams on 4th down, running for his life again, and he's going to complete it. And it's a first down to O'Brien, who's had a pretty good game. 42 yards worth of catches in the first. Now flags come in, and we're going to have a late hit.
And the person getting chastised the most is getting chastised by his coach, and that's one of the Fox Creek players, Lim Lackey, is letting him have it. There's just no, and both sides were doing it, not just Fox Creek, Silver Bluff as well, and there's just no sense in it.
Have a Silver Bluff player also down back around the 34-yard line.
And trust me, I understand the frustration. Not only are you getting beat and then in Silver, but neither team has played in 3 weeks either.
Dead ball.
So there's some frustration out there. But that was both sides. Right. It wasn't just Fox Creek there. I know Lackey was upset at his player, but it was on both sides of the ball there for sure.
While they attend to the Silver Bluff player, I can't see the number who it is. Let's take a quick look at the South Carolina Governor School of Agriculture scoreboard.
Yeah, and that score, quick update, Evans has actually gone up in that one. It's 20-12 over Richmond Academy. And Greenbrier has scored in their game, 24-8, some scores that just came in. Elsewhere, Aquinas rolling, 27-0. Bamberg Earhart leads Estill, 28-8. North Augusta, they've had a tough go of it the last couple weeks with a tough schedule. They trail Greenwood 21-7. Strom Thurmond struggling with Josie, 14-6. Washington County struggling there. Swainsboro leads them 13-8. Effingham County and Lakeside tight at 7-0 Effingham.
And we'll have finals from all of those and highlights on Football Friday night come up at 11:35. You may have seen at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen under the scoreboard, the injured Silver Bluff player was Jaden McLeod. He walked off under his own power, but he was limping and grabbing at his hamstring. And now he's stretching it out on the sideline. That may be the last we see of Mr. McLeod tonight with a 41-0 score. Adams, Dogs trying to throw the shutout and almost picked off.
Well, they want this shutout.
Yeah, Malik Mazzone thought he had it.
So you have bad teams want a shutout. I heard a funny story the other night. Comedian Nate Bargatze has a really good podcast, and they had Jay Cutler on the podcast.
Who's surprisingly funny.
Oh, very funny. And one of the guys on, and Bargatze is from Tennessee, is a Vandy fan, so they all know each other. one of the other comedians on the show said, the worst act of sportsmanship in history, such and such high school team beats such and such high school team 90-0. And Nate Bargatze said, oh, wait, is that the end of the story? That's it? He goes, I was waiting on something else. And they showed the camera on Cutler, and he's smiling. He was in that game. He was on the team that won 90-0. And here's the thing. It was 90-0 as they complete a pass here at Fox Creek. It was 90-0, right? Starters are out of the game. They haven't been playing since halftime. Late in the fourth quarter, the other team is about to score.
Oh.
The coach calls the starters back in to preserve the shutout.
I had not heard that story.
Wow.
Goodness gracious. So 3rd and about 7 for Fox Creek here.
Well, they've had some luck rolling out Adams and letting them throw it. I don't see why they wouldn't do that here. And they haven't gone to Mays much, but let's see if they do here.
Adams keeps flinging it. And a nice play to break it up, and I believe that was Brown. And a flag in late as things are starting to get a little sloppy. A Fox Creek player down.
Adams' pass is incomplete. There's a penalty marker on the play.
Well, neither coach wants to see any of this.
Another personal foul.
Yeah, this one's on Silver Bluff, and Mays was the player who got hit and is kind of hobbling off. And tell you what, he's played his heart out tonight. Not afraid to go in there and take a hit, even though he's not a big guy.
Dead ball.
And lightning fast. He might be the fastest player on the field. There's a few Silver Bluff players that would probably like to race him, but for what the kid can fly, Mays.
So really the biggest threat, offensive threat of the night for the Predators. They are 1st and 10 at the 14 into the Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone. And it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, I like the play call. They had 3 wide receivers to the right, and they ran the little fade, just lob it up in the corner of the end zone to the left where it was single coverage.
This Fox Creek team will hit the road next week, up the road in Columbia to take on Lower Richland. That'll be their final region game of the year. And, of course, all of these games are tentative right now, the way things have worked this season. And Silver Bluff will be at Midland Valley.
This Silver Bluff team is going to be a tough out for anybody.
Have a feeling we will be talking about the Dogs into December. Adams under pressure, had to get rid of it. 3rd down. And a reminder, we'll be in Harlem next week as we have another player down, cramping, I believe. Yeah.
I can't wait till we get a sideline shot of Matt being tended to for cramping.
Well, while we do this, we'd be remiss, AB, if we didn't mention that this is the eve of the 20th anniversary of 9/11, the day that will live in, for all of us who lived through it, is a day we will obviously never forget. 2,977 Americans lost their lives that day, and we've heard so many stories about where people were and their experience. I'll ask you, I'm sure you remember exactly where you were that day.
I do. I was actually, because of the way I worked, I'd go in really early in the morning. I was home by 7:30, 8 o'clock. Then I'd go back in the afternoon, and I was in my apartment by myself. And my girlfriend, who's now my wife at the time, or my wife, excuse me, she calls. I didn't pick up. Then I get up, and I find out the first plane had hit. And then I start watching the coverage, and I'm watching the coverage as the second plane hits, and just one of those things. And it doesn't seem like it was 20 years ago. It seemed like it just happened. I mean, I can remember it like it was, yesterday. Terrible, terrible moment in our history for sure.
And down goes Adams, and Vernon Lawrence will be credited with the sack. Yeah, it's amazing to me as we have a 4th down situation. It'll be a one call, that's all moment for Lemuel Lackey as the Predators try to get on the scoreboard and leave with something to feel good about after this game, but everybody knows exactly where they were. Nathan was saying he was in his first semester in college math class. I mean, just to remember exactly where you were. I was never, you were up that early because you were working those hours. I was never up that early. My dad had hip replacement surgery that day and had to be at the hospital at 6 a.m., so I was up. And he was in recovery. We go outside the hospital, and a lady comes up crying and says, we've been attacked. And we thought, it's a crazy lady, as Fox Creek with one last heave, and it is intercepted. That is Jaden Simpkins with an exclamation point for the Bulldogs. But to put a cap on that story, obviously we walk inside like everybody else did. We see the coverage.
Because you never even contemplated something like that happening.
No.
And now we know, going back, an FBI agent in Phoenix had actually sent a letter saying, hey, there's a lot more Middle Easterners trying to learn how to fly here. It might be something we need to look into. And it didn't get looked at by anybody of enough importance quick enough, because if so, that might have, who knows, might have helped.
Well, it's amazing to think that nobody on the field tonight was born yet that day. None of the players on the field. So if you're a young kid watching this, read everything you can, watch everything you can about 9/11.
The documentaries have been on all week. I've been watching all of them.
Ask your parents, learn everything you can about that day. We're inside the final minute with that running clock, and the Bulldogs just going to run things out here. What a night in Petticoat Junction for Silver Bluff. Looking every bit the number 5 team in the state of South Carolina. I believe that might be the final snap.
That was actually Marcus Washington on the carry.
It was Washington.
Might have heard the PA announcer saying Dunbar.
I seriously doubt they're going to get one more snap off. 5, 4, 3, 2. They did get one off. It doesn't matter. That'll wrap it up. And folks, the Bluff is back. Silver Bluff with an impressive, emphatic win, 41-0 over Fox Creek.
Very impressive. Trayvon Dunbar, I wanted to see him. I've been looking forward to it. Worth the price of admission. That kid's special.
So this Silver Bluff team will move to 3-0. Fox Creek will fall to 1-1 on the season. And you'll want to stay tuned for our post-game show. We'll award our McDonald's offensive and defensive player of the game. Again, offense is probably fairly obvious. And then our Powerade play of the game and our East Central Health District hit of the game, all coming your way in the post-game show here on Game Night Live.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Silver Bluff tonight. And for Fox Creek, you want to forget this one and move on.
Yeah, throw the tape. Well, they don't do tape anymore, but delete the file. So Silver Bluff 41-0 win over Fox Creek. Now back down to Matt Lane with another Augusta Auto Auction sideline report and the victorious head coach of the Silver Bluff Bulldogs, D'Angelo Bryant.
That's right, John. We're here on the field with Coach Bryant, Silver Bluff. Pretty good showing here, especially running the football. You got to be proud of that one.
Well, I mean, the name of the game, we wanted to come out and we wanted to be physical. We felt like Fox Creek was a very physical football team, and we definitely felt like we needed to match that in some form or fashion. And I was just real proud of our guys. Our guys really stepped up and accepted the challenge.
And obviously, there's always something to iron out. What did you see from your team that maybe you're going to push them to work on next week?
Well, I mean, it's penalties. I mean, I think penalties killed us. Like I said, I mean, credit that to either the 2-week layoff or just us kind of being a little undisciplined right now. But believe me, with something we're going to get corrected, and that'll be corrected soon.
And I know he's young, but, man, Dunbar, he's something special, isn't he?
He's a special young man. He's a special young man. The great part about Dunbar is that he's a hard worker. He's a hard worker in the weight room. He's a hard worker in the classroom. And, sometimes we have to get on him a lot of times because he wants to beat up on himself a lot. But, that young man is special, and we're looking for a lot of big things from him, not just from this year, but for years to come.
Wonderful performance. Go be with your team, Coach. Thank you. Back to you, John.
Matt, thanks. Congratulations to Coach Bryant and the Bulldogs. 41-0. The final postgame show is next with your McDonald's offensive and defensive players on Game Night Live.
And welcome back on the field for our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. A couple of good ones here as Silver Bluff really looking good. 41-0 here against Fox Creek. We're going to start things off on the defensive side. Number 42, Jaden McLeod, kind of all over the field, really stopping the run and passing game for Fox Creek. How did it feel out there? It looked like you never really let them get anything going. Did y'all work on that all week?
Nah, this game was personal. They said they were going to set me down, so I had to prove them wrong.
Aren't those the best, though, when they do a little chattering during the week?
Yeah, I love it. Because when I come out here, you know I'm going to dominate. So I just had to come out here and dominate them boys.
Dominating on the field, dominating this interview for sure. In terms of offense, we've said it coming into the game. He produced during the game. Number 21, Trayvon Dunbar, 221 yards, 4 touchdowns. You had a great year last year. What did you work on in the offseason that you wanted to carry into this year?
Just being stronger, being a power back. I was more like a speed back last year. I was just trying to get stronger in the weight room, just getting big and stuff, you know.
So obviously speed's kind of your thing, but is there something you saw out here tonight that you, against Fox Creek, those guys, I mean, they look like they were a lot bigger than y'all.
Yeah, it was a lot big. We had to be a lot stronger and more powerful, you know.
Well, a terrific performance here from Silver Bluff, as always. 41-0 over Fox Creek here at Petticoat Junction. Back to you, John.
Well, we've had some great post-game interviews this year, AB, but I think Jaden McLeod is in the running. Congratulations, Jaden and Trayvon. Now let's get you our QBs by the quarter for the fourth quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Yeah, and unfortunately a rough night for Mike Adams from Fox Creek, 6 of 16. 57 yards, couple of interceptions, and four rushing attempts for 31 yards for quarterback Malik Williams. He was 10 of 17 passing for 92 yards and a touchdown.
A couple more pieces of hardware to hand out. First, the hit of the game brought to you, as always, by East Central Health District.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I bet I know. And it was on the kickoff return.
Boom.
And in full speed, it was even worse. Jaden Boyd laying the lumber.
Yeah, Matt had a good vantage point on that one.
And that brings us to the Powerade play of the game. As Coach Bryant, no coach is ever completely happy, even when you win 41-0.
No. Well, this is going to be tough. You got Dunbar, but you got the punt return. Let's see what it is. I think it's going to be the Dunbar long run. We might get to see the crazy fake he throws right there.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Well, there's another one coming. Right there. Whoop. And gone. 74 yards. Yeah. Dunbar, 4 touchdowns. Our McDonald's offensive player of the game and our Powerade play of the game. That was fun, AB. What'd you think?
Well, Silver Bluffs, we thought they were good, and they are. I mean, after what they did to
They are who we thought they were.
That woke up. I knew they were good, but when they beat a 4A school that bad, I thought, whoa. And getting a chance to see Dunbar, he is as advertised, and I know Coach Bryant mentioned how excited they are to have him for the next couple of years. I don't blame him. And on Fox Creek side, like I said, it was just one of those rough nights. Things started bad and just never got better, and you just got to sometimes throw them out and just try to refresh and restart and recharge your batteries, and I'm sure that's what Coach Lackey will do with his team and get ready for Lower Richland. As
you take a look at some of the other highlights from the night, I want to say a quick thank you to our crew. We can't thank them enough. Kyle Thomas, our director, Mike Lobakowski on replay, Josh Recor on graphics, Jeff Singleton on audio on the cameras tonight. Varian Riley, we call him Z, Barry Smith, Reggie Mackey, Darius Davis, Field Grip Benjamin Mays, Field Mike, working her first Game Night Live, Hannah Diarco. On the sidelines for us, Kaylee Foster tonight, the Red Cap, Brendan Riccardi, and keeping us on the air back at WJBF, the man, the myth, the legend, Levi Crawford. 41-0, Silver Bluff, our final here on week 4. We're the quarter of the way through the season. Where does the time go? Oh, man, oh, man. Don't forget to watch Football Friday night, 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6. You'll see this run again and many more highlights, 30 minutes dedicated to high school football, including some really good finishes. We're watching the Washington County-Swainsboro game, so you'll have the final score on that. We'll wrap this one up. And don't forget, especially you Silver Bluff fans, the encore presentation of Game Night Live coming up Sunday at noon. Get your NFL Sunday started with Game Night Live, Sunday high noon on WJBF News Channel 6. So, from our broadcast partner, AB, our statistician, Nathan Edwards, Matt Lane down on the field, I'm John Hart. We will see you 1 week from tonight from Harlem when the Bulldogs battle Lincoln County. Until then, good night. from Petticoat Junction.